What is up, boxing brothers and sisters? And I want to let you know, Undisputed had their dev roundtable. Now, this has been a long time coming. A long time coming. We haven't heard anything. We heard that career mode was coming out. Then all of a sudden, silence. But silence isn't a bad thing, because apparently it gave Undisputed some time for recollection, some time to reflect. And I think in that time to reflect, they really listened to us, y'all. I think they finally listened to us, and not only listened to us, I think they realized we got to take a step back. We got to take a step back from where we were. Maybe we were moving too fast, and they were just trying to meet their goals that they set out. Because remember that roadmap? They had career mode coming out here at the end of probably Q4. We knew it was 2023. They really didn't kind of break it down in quarters or anything like that, but it was due to come out in 2023. So the dev roundtable today, it has been announced. They are delaying it until early next year, but they're saying early next year, so it sounds like it's not too far off. But I want to say this. I'm gonna pause before I go any deeper. Console players, you do not want this game in this state. Every time I see a post, if it's on X, if it's on Instagram, if it's on YouTube, y'all are constantly talking about console release. You don't want the console release.
Chill, playboy. You gotta chill, playboy.
It's not ready to be ported anywhere because the PC version is not where it needs to be. You hear so many people complaining. I don't know if you guys seen the player numbers for the player base has shrunk considerably. It's not in a good state. So they need to take this step back and they need to get the game right. And it starts with gameplay. Something Poe, I'm sure anybody, all you boxing brothers and sisters know Poe. Poe has been preaching that. You got to get that right. You know, Coach's Corner, that is, has been preaching that. Pretty much everybody has been saying you got to get the gameplay right. I know I've been very critical of the AI, and they are looking to address it. But I'm kind of going all over the place right now, only because there's so much that I want to discuss. I am going to get into the meat and potatoes of this roundtable. But let's also look at funding. You know, we were always curious, they're not a big AAA company, they're an indie company. How are they going to get funding? Well, lo and behold, who comes out of the blue? His Excellency. The one that is the sole reason why we're getting this tremendous card on December 23rd with Wilder against Joseph Parker, and then you got Joshua against Wallen, and you got throw in a bunch of other, got Big Baby coming back in a fight against Daniel Dubois. So you got some big time fights that are coming up, all on one card. I say big time fights, big time names, all on one card, but are in some very good fights. Some good fights, not great fights, but good fights. And it's staying worth the $39, at least in the US, that they're gonna be charging for this. So y'all check that out. But His Excellency is now backing Steel City Interactive. Ash Habib and company. He's backing them, y'all. So they're gonna have the funding. Money is not gonna be a problem. Money is not gonna be a problem. So now I think it is important to step back and make sure you get your product right. And I think that's what they're doing right now. So one of the things that they're looking to fix, at least what they said in this dev update, is visual damage. So they're gonna be adding cuts. And when we're talking about cuts, you're gonna see cuts on the left, you're gonna see cuts on the right, you're gonna see cuts on the nose if you hit them on the nose, some deep gashes too. You're gonna see blood that's gonna spurt everywhere, and this should be in the 0.6 update. So we should start seeing those visual damage updates in the 0.6 update. That's the expectation here. Now, the other thing that they wanted to address right away was health and damage. Now, all of this is critical and it needs to be addressed, especially before you talk about career mode, but really the AI needs to be addressed. But I'm sure that's coming down the road. We'll have to see when we get into the meat and potatoes of whatever they release, and, you know, get into those patch notes, see what it says, those update notes, and see if it has anything AI related. But what they talked about on the dev stream was really just about what I'm telling you. It's about the visual damage, it's about the health, and that's it, health and damage? Yeah, no, damage and stamina. That's what I'm talking about. Visual damage, damage and stamina, and health. So I think I covered everything. I think I just said it all jacked up right there, but you guys get me. So I talked about, they're gonna have two separate bars. It's gonna be a health bar or a head bar and a body bar. And then they're going to have other things. I'm trying to remember everything as I'm telling you. They wanted to work on stamina. And one of the things that they wanted to work with stamina, you guys know how it really seemed like you could finish a fight with full stamina, no problem. It really was no problem to finish a fight full stamina. And we know Canelo gasses in like round 9, round 10. We know Canelo does that. You can go and have 100% stamina with Canelo and still be throwing about 800, 900 punches. You can do it. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that they're going to be addressing. They said based on your previous round is how your stamina is actually going to be affected. And something that is not going to be in the .6 update, but I think is very important that they're going to add, they're actually going to have it so stamina will affect your movement and affect your loose movement. And I think that's critical. It's something that definitely needs to be in the game because that's going to go along with the gameplay, because you're going to have to adjust your game plan. If you want to blow your load early on and you want to just throw a bunch of punches, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it later, especially if somebody's able to be defensive and can weather the storm, and then they can take advantage later in the fight, and their patience is rewarded. So I'm looking forward to see how that works out, but that's going to be in the .6 release, and as far as stamina is concerned, so don't expect that that's not going to be in the .6 release. Let me get that clear. That's not going to be in the .6 release. But the first part of what I was saying about stamina will be, as far as it being how you perform in the previous round, that's going to affect your stamina recovery for the next round. So if you're throwing a bunch of punches the previous round, you're going to take longer to recover your stamina. And you would think they would already have that done. It wasn't to the level it needed to be. So I'm glad that they're actually doing it now. So I'm grateful for that. So unlike, was it Rocky 3, when we had Apollo Creed saying exactly what's on my shirt, there is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
I think there is a tomorrow, and there's a greater tomorrow for Undisputed. And it's looking bright. It's looking bright. I know things have seemed grim, but it's not. It's really not. Especially with the funding coming in, I think this change of direction is great. We definitely did not need career mode to be released, and then it would be tragic because the AI is tragic at the moment. There's still many gameplay elements that need to be fixed. They said they're going to be working on fighter differentiality, which is very important because, as I mentioned this in the Discord many times, Wilder should not be diagonal dodging like Loma. That should not be happening. So that's going to be addressed. They're going to address things like, well, we'll see how much that's addressed. But one thing I don't know if you guys noticed when they were actually in the roundtable, if you look above their name and you got the health bar and all that, did you notice the traits? And I wanted something visual because I would always forget, and there was no way to look once you're in game to see what your traits are. So I'm glad that they added a feature of some sort, and I'm sure it's a UI that you'll be able to remove if you like, but you can actually see the traits when you're in game. So I think that's important to have because I constantly forget, man, what's my advantages? Especially once they add more and more fighters, you're gonna need to know what your advantages and what your disadvantages are. You're not gonna remember it all, especially when you're just trying out different fighters. So you wanna see what will work and what won't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that they're adding that, and hopefully that'll be in the .6 update. They didn't say it wouldn't, but they didn't really talk about it either. So I'm curious what you guys think. I think it's great that they're delaying career mode. I like what they're doing as far as the position that they're taking when it comes to health and damage and stamina. I think it's great visually. We definitely need to see those changes being made as well. So thumbs up. I'm giving them a thumbs up. I'm glad that they just came out and said, look, we got to reassess things. So we're going to delay it, and we're going to try to do this the right way. So we'll see what they do going forward. But props to SCI, always at least letting us know. They're not just leaving us in the dark. They are coming out, putting their faces out there, letting us, the fans, know what's going on. And I, for one, appreciate it. But what are your thoughts? Do you like these changes? Do you think it's a good start? Are you just still frustrated and you're just going to wait until the game is just ready for release when it's released on console in 2026 or 2025 or whenever? Or are you're happy? You'd like to see the progression. You're actually one of the PC players that's been playing the game, and you're going to keep playing until they actually get it right. I'm the latter. I'm going to keep supporting this game. I'm going to keep voicing my opinion because just like you, I want the best game. And how are we going to get the best game? By constantly communicating and talking about it. So I would love to hear your thoughts. That's all I have for this one. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.